Tensions in East Asia have escalated, with territorial disputes and economic friction straining diplomatic ties. For years, Japan, North Korea, China, Russia, and the United States have been locked in an arms race, each working to develop hypersonic missile technology. Now, China appears to have made a significant breakthrough. What does this mean for the balance of power in East Asia? And can diplomacy hold as hypersonic threats rise? Let's explore the global implications of China's billion-dollar missile advancement. Warfare has constantly evolved, from early humans using fire and spears to modern militaries pursuing high-speed weapons. Today, speed defines the future of combat. Nations in East Asia, North America, and Europe are racing to develop hypersonic missiles capable of evading detection and striking targets at unprecedented speeds. While Russia and the West have made their own advancements, China's latest breakthrough has captured global attention. Initially dismissed as speculation, reports of China's hypersonic missile, capable of traveling through space and avoiding radar, were confirmed in 2021 by the Financial Times. The news triggered concern among rival nations. Missiles aren't new to military strategy, especially for powers like the US and Russia. But missiles traveling faster than sound represent a major shift in warfare. The US, for example, has long pursued hypersonic capabilities. One such effort was the AGM-183 ARRW, an air-launched rapid response weapon developed by Lockheed Martin. The concept emerged in 2018 when the U.S. Air Force envisioned a stealthy, nuclear-capable missile with unparalleled speed. As advanced air defense systems made traditional airspace incursions difficult, the U.S. needed a faster, more elusive option. The ARRW aimed to solve this, capable of reaching 5 times the speed of sound. In 2019, it underwent its first captive carry test, mounted on a B-52 bomber. Under President Trump, $480 million was allocated to the program, which aligned with his goal of bolstering U.S. defense capabilities. By 2020, he proposed a 23% budget increase for the missile's continued development. However, political shifts and cost concerns began to take their toll. In 2023, the Congressional Budget Office estimated that producing 300 ARRWs would cost nearly $15 million per missile, with a total program cost of $5.3 billion over 20 years. Testing setbacks that year cost millions per failure, eventually leading to the program's cancellation in March 2023. Despite its cancellation, the ARRW showed serious promise. It was designed to reach speeds up to 15,000 miles per hour, Mach 20, far beyond the detection capabilities of most missile defense systems. Its boost glide delivery system launched the missile from a bomber, after which the glide vehicle detached, maneuvering unpredictably to evade interception while carrying its warhead. The Pentagon has since confirmed there will be no ARRW funding in the 2025 budget, but the success of China's DFZF hypersonic missile may force the U.S. to reconsider its stance. China, a long-standing player in global arms development, now appears to be outpacing both the U.S. and Russia in this critical area. As the arms race continues, one question remains: can diplomacy survive the dawn of the hypersonic age? The rise of China's DF-17 and DFZF hypersonic weapons has alarmed world powers, with major nations rushing to compete in the hypersonic missile race. Imagine facing a country that can launch an undetectable missile. It's game over before the war even begins. But what makes the DF-17 and DFZF combo so threatening? Like the US AGM-183 ARRW, the DF-17 uses a booster glider system. The difference lies in deployment. The AGM-183 is launched from a bomber, while the DF-17 is fired from a mobile military truck known as a Transporter Erector Launcher, TEL. These TELs enable shoot-and-scoot tactics, firing a missile and moving before enemy forces can strike back. Here's how the system works. The DF-17, a road-mobile medium-range ballistic missile, is launched from the TL. Once airborne, it reaches hypersonic speeds between Mach 5 and Mach 10. At a specific altitude, the DFZF hypersonic glide vehicle detaches, carrying a warhead, either conventional or nuclear, and maneuvers toward the target with high precision and speed. China's success with this system has positioned it as a serious threat, especially to the United States. On October 19, 2021, CNN reported on China's unexpected leap in hypersonic missile capability, coinciding with doubts over the U.S.'s own AGM-183 program. Many were shocked that U.S. intelligence, long seen as unmatched, had been caught off guard. What made China's test so alarming? According to the Financial Times, in August 2021, China launched a nuclear-capable hypersonic missile that circled the globe before speeding toward its target. Though it reportedly missed by about 24 miles, the test demonstrated capabilities far beyond what the U.S. had anticipated. A U.S. official, stunned, was quoted saying, "We have no idea how they did this." China's hypersonic glider, especially if nuclear-armed, could potentially bypass U.S. missile defenses. Taylor Fravel, a Chinese weapons expert, suggested such a system could render current U.S. defenses ineffective. The U.S. has long developed both ballistic missiles and systems to intercept them. While these defenses are effective against traditional threats, hypersonic missiles, with their extreme speed and maneuverability, pose a different challenge. They can evade detection and interception systems like the Aegis A-280 and THAAD, Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, which is considered one of the most advanced anti-ballistic missile systems in the U.S. arsenal. Unlike ballistic missiles, which follow a predictable arc through space and re-enter the atmosphere at high speed, hypersonic missiles stay within the atmosphere and glide toward their target, using erratic movements to avoid being shot down. Other East Asian nations have tried to counter China by developing their own hypersonic programs, but the U.S. views China's advancements as a far greater concern. Congressman Michael Gallagher of the House Armed Services Committee has warned that China now possesses a credible capability to defeat U.S. missile defenses and threaten the American homeland with both conventional and nuclear weapons. There's growing concern that American technology may have inadvertently supported China's hypersonic weapons program, even as the U.S. struggles to keep pace. Former Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin criticized China's expanding hypersonic arsenal, accusing Beijing of stoking regional tensions and extending its influence, particularly in Taiwan and South Korea. At a security meeting in Seoul, Austin reaffirmed U.S. support for South Korea, emphasizing the strength of the alliance in the face of threats from China and North Korea. Although China claimed its hypersonic test was a routine space experiment, U.S. experts were skeptical. Analysts accused Beijing of concealing the true purpose of the test. Dean Chung, a senior fellow at the Heritage Foundation, warned that China's hypersonic capabilities could prove disastrous for countries unable to defend against them. He noted that China is not just launching missiles, it's building an entire support infrastructure with spare parts, maintenance teams, and launch crews, making their arsenal more battle-ready and harder to counter. Some experts warn that warheads may be disguised as satellites, allowing China to mask its offensive capabilities. Daryl Kimball, executive director of the Arms Control Association, described China's hypersonic potential as a global threat, arguing that these weapons leave no time to respond in a conflict. Meanwhile, questions persist over America's continued involvement in East Asian disputes, especially tensions between North Korea, South Korea, and China. Taiwan, officially the Republic of China, ROC, is an island separated from the mainland by the Taiwan Strait. The People's Republic of China, PRC, governed by the Chinese Communist Party, views Taiwan as a breakaway province, despite never having ruled it. Beijing insists on reunification, preferring peaceful means, but prepared to use force if necessary. With its own democratically elected government and a population of 23 million, Taiwan remains a flashpoint. Its leaders hold varying views on the island's status and relations with the mainland, further complicating U.S.-China relations. Though the U.S. has long supported Taiwan and South Korea, China's recent testing of boost-glide hypersonic missiles has triggered internal concern in Washington. This raises serious questions. Will the U.S. retreat, or will it confront China's growing power head-on? In response, the U.S. has begun to push back. In 2022, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, quietly introduced a new high-speed missile initiative called Gambit. This program is centered around a revolutionary propulsion method known as the Rotating Detonation Engine, RD. Unlike traditional jet engines, RDs use spinning detonation waves to generate explosive thrust. This process boosts energy output while reducing fuel consumption, potentially enabling hypersonic speeds close to Mach. Beyond missiles, the technology could also impact future high-speed aircraft and even naval warship propulsion systems. With China racing ahead in hypersonic weapons, America's next move may depend on how quickly this new technology can be deployed, not just in missiles, but with the full logistical backbone, spare parts, maintenance tools, and trained personnel.